before I'm done with you. Samuel!
Yes, sir?
If the allowance of cheese is stopped, the officers still mind you until the deficiency is made good.
Yes, Captain.
And Burkett, if I hear another word out of you, I'll have you seized up and flogged to the pole. Samuel, you lock the storeroom. Bring the keys to my cabin.
So help me. Bly ordered those 2 cheeses taken out at Spithead.
I can back you there, Burkett. I carried them myself. 2 cheeses and a cask of vinegar to Bly's house.
So that's the game, is it? Lining his pockets by starving us.
Curse his blood. I'll be hanged if I do any more work on this ship. If he puts back our cheese rations. I'm with you, lads. No more work by any in this mess.
I'll give the word to Quintlesness, and he'll pass it on. No more work.
No more work. No more work.
No more work.
No more work.
Come in.
Captain Bly.
Yes, Mr. Christian.
As officer of the deck, sir, I feel it my duty to make a report.
Well, what is it?
The grumbling in the forecastle, sir. It's becoming serious.
Ah, is it? What are the scoundrels grumbling about now?
Many things, sir. Chiefly the food.
Well, they're not satisfied with the rations, sir. By heaven, they'd better make up their minds to be satisfied.
Captain Bly, as second officer, I am in a measure responsible for their conduct. If I may suggest, sir, I think it would be wise to listen to their grievances.
You may keep your suggestions to yourself, Mr. Christian.
I think it only right that you should hear what the men...
I am the only judge, sir, of what's right and wrong on this ship. I'm tired of their bloody complaints. Since you seem to be their advocate, Mr. Christian, you can tell them this. The first man to complain from now on will be placed in chains.
About 100 leagues off the coast of Brazil, the wind chopped around to north and northwest, and the Bounty lay becalmed. Here another incident occurred to aggravate the resentment of the men. We'd been at sea 6 months, and for 10 weeks now, outside of the officers' mess, there had been no fresh food of any sort on board the Bounty. Taking advantage of the calm, the crew employed themselves with fishing for shark, with pieces of rotten pork for bait.
Shark ahead! Shark ahead! There goes, look! The shark! Right under the bows.
Give him the bait there. Slack the line.
Thinking of lads. Look smart.
Got him, Burkett.
Hook, by heaven.
He's on. He's a big one.
Go to the blue tower heart is on deck with him. Heave ho! Heave ho!
Here he comes.
Heave
He's a big one, all right.
Heave ho! That'll settle him straight now.
At him, boys. At him with your knives.
Slice him up, men.
Careful there, Mills. With that cutlass, watch where you're cutting.
Shark meat's good eating. It's better than dried dog's meat any day.
Out. Someone's coming. It's Samuel. Samuel. Captain Spy. He doesn't get a scrap of the shark's meat. You hear, men? Not a scrap.
A fine catch, eh, man? I say it's a fine catch of fish you got there. I must have a slice, eh, Mr. Burkett?
So, you must have a slice, Mr. Samuel. Well, I must have a glass of grog and a stiff one, too. If you eat shark today...
Come, my good man. You have enough fish there for a dozen.
You have enough grog stored away for 1,000, by heaven.
It's for the captain's table I want it.
And catch him a shark yourself. This is mine. He gets the best of the bread and the pick of the junk cask as it is.
Forget yourself, Burkett. Come, give me a slice. That large one, and I'll say nothing.
Devil with you. You take your slice right in your sneaking face!
Burkett spent the night in irons. His messmates saved him their entire allowance of grog to fortify him against the flogging they knew to be inevitable. At 6 bells, Mr. Bly came on deck.
Christian?
Yes, Captain Bly?
Call all hands on deck to witness punishment.
Yes, sir. All men on aft deck, Orson.
Aye, Mr. Christian.
All hands out on deck! All hands!
All hands, sir! All hands!
I report all men on deck, Captain Bly.
Very good, Mr. Christian. Rig the gratings, Mr. Purcell.
Gratings are rigged, sir.
Thomas Burkett, step forward. Anything said?
No, sir.
Strip! Mr. Norton, seize him up.
Seized up, sir.
Thomas Burkett, for mutinous conduct, I sentence you to 3 dozen lashes. Morrison,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Morrison, see that you lay on with a will. Report to me at breakfast when you're done.
Yes, sir.
Did you see Burkett when they cut him down? Black in the face he was.
The bone showing through the flesh.
And now the old devil's got Purcell in irons. They say Mr. Fryer and Bly ain't speaking no more.
Pretty fast, then, for a ship what's got half the world between her and England.
Wait till we get back. There'll be a day of reckoning for old Bly.
Aye, and maybe before we get back.
What are you saying, Mills? We gotta get back to England, don't we?
We could get back without Bly if we had to. There's a man that can take the bounty home. I ain't a better man than Bly.
Christian, you mean?
Christian. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Christian.
Mr. Christian.
Fortunately for Captain Bly, a gale blew up that night, and all hands were kept busy keeping the ship from being swamped. Day after day we scudded before strong westerly to southwesterly winds, carrying only the foresail and close-reefed main topsail. At last, on the 20th of November, we rounded Cape Horn. 5 weeks later, we sighted the first coral reefs and saw the great mountains of the island of Tahiti.
Land ho! Land to the starboard! Land to the starboard!
Mr. Christian?
Yes, sir.
Taking sounding.
Yes, sir. Mills?
By the mark 8, by the deep 7, water showing.
Fair anchor.
Yes, sir. Orson, all men to their stations.
All men to their stations!
Well, there it is, Mr. Christian. The Isle of Tahiti. Long, hard voyage. By heaven, there it is at last.
Looks like a beautiful island, Captain Bly.
It is. Captain Cook, under whom I sail these waters, loved it. Only next to England. Were I an old man and my work done, I should ask nothing better than to end my days under its palms. Mr. Christian.
Yes, sir.
Sounding.
Mills?
By the deep 5, 1/2 less 5, sir, and shoaling fast.
Lower away.
Lower away there.
Aye, sir.
Natives coming aboard, sir.
Lower the line.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Christian.
Yes, sir.
Set a watch. See that those thieving yellow devils don't steal anything when they come aboard.
The next day, the crew went ashore. The danger of the mutiny seemed past. The hardships of the voyage were soon forgotten. We lived on the fat of the land, amongst affectionate native friends. Those were the happiest weeks I ever spent. Our host was the chief of the island. He had 2 daughters, Hina and Tahani. Mr. Christian and I used to visit them often. The 4 of us would go swimming, sporting in the breakers or lying on the white sand of the coral beach. Hina.
Yes, Byam.
The tide is high. Swim with me out to the reef underwater. How about it, Christian?
Oh, Byam, you're not lazy enough for the South Seas. I'll stay here with Tahani.
Ready, Hina?
Ready?
Come.
You English, you swim like that.
I'll show you when we get to the reef.
Christian,
Yes?
are you a chief in your own land?
Small one, perhaps, Tahani.
I knew you must be. And have you no wife?
None.
I have no husband.
Tahani.
Why do you stop? Tehani is listening.
When the ship sails, Tahani, I must go with it.
But it will be 2 moons before the ship sails.
2 moons are soon past, Tahani.
We have a legend, Christiane, here in Tahiti, that time is a long lizard that sleeps with its tail in its mouth. And to those who keep their hearts within its circle, no harm can come.
No harm will come, Tahani. What are you doing with those flowers?
Tehani make a wreath to go around your neck.
White flower, long stem. What do you call it?
This one, the tafano.
Looks like the lotus. In my country, we have legends too, Tahani. In my country, they say a sailor who once tastes the lotus never goes home.
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Mutiny on the Bounty. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. This is Ernest Chappell welcoming you back to the Campbell Playhouse. In a minute or two, we will resume our presentation of Mutiny on the Bounty, starring Orson Welles. Meanwhile, may I say a word or two about mutiny in another form? Over many years, modern genius has been showing women the way to give their families better food with less kitchen time. And call it mutiny or call it evolution, women have been quick to take full advantage of these benefits for their families and themselves. No longer does the good housewife feel she must spend long hours each week making her own bread and churning her own butter. To give her family their favorite dishes, it is no longer necessary to spend so many hours in her kitchen. Her household shelves are laden down with many of these foods, ready prepared for her and of a quality equal to her own good homemade kind. Among these fine foods are soups, Campbell soups. If you have never tried them, I invite you to try a can of Campbell's chicken soup tomorrow. I cannot think of a finer way to introduce you to Campbell's soups than that. Once you've tasted Campbell's chicken soup, I feel certain you'll be convinced that soup making at home is a task you can well turn over to Campbell's chefs. And now, back to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Mutiny on the Bounty, starring Orson Welles.
Roger Byam, midshipman.
Yes, sir.
James Morrison, boatswain's mate.
Yes, sir.
William Purcell, ship's carpenter.
Yes, sir.
Thomas Burkitt, seaman.
Yes, sir.
John Mills, seaman.
Yes, sir.
Thomas Ellison, seaman.
Yes, sir.
Roger Byam, have you anything further to say in your defense?
I have, my lord. Toward the end of March, it became evident to all hands that the Bounty would soon sail. More than 1,000 young breadfruit trees in pots and tubs had been taken on board. The relaxation of discipline now came to an end. Captain Bligh ordered Samuel to seize all the gifts which the friendly natives had given the men. With abundance around them, the crew were again put on slender rations. 2 of them, deserted to the hills, were caught and severely flogged. On our last visit ashore, Mr. Christian was more than usually silent.
Christiane, you are going to sail. Is that not so?
Yes, Tahani.
When?
Tomorrow. Sunrise.
Oh,
Where will you be, Tahani, when we sail?
here on the shore, waving my hand.
I'll watch for you.
Christiane, will you think of Tehani sometimes in your own land?
I will not stay in my own land. I shall come back, Tahani.
Here, Christiane. These are for you.
Black pearls. Tahani, where did you get these?
I